TJ, start with, you got a mix of old and new in your group, so just give us a look at what you're dealing with.
Sean Martin's having a great camp. He's bouncing back from the personal issue he had in his life. Fatoma Mobile's turning himself into a player. I'm very excited with him. Starting from last year and then him completely taking over the spot in the bowl game and progressing there. Steady Eddie's doing great. We have some new younger pieces that are catching up. Hammond Russell's having a great camp. Corey McIntyre's having a great camp. So we're building, and T.J. Jackson's been a great addition to us. Old guy that's going to bolster the field end position, and he's got some real good position versatility, which you guys know I love.
You had a lot of depth last year. You were able to roll 8, 9, sometimes 10, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you're going to have that depth this year?
We're working towards it. So I definitely would like to do that again, but obviously guys have to be ready to do it, and the competition to push me to put guys in the game coming from the next wave of guys has to continue to grow, but we're trending in the right direction.
You mentioned Hammond. What kind of jumps has he made, and where have you seen him really improve?
Oh, first, off the field, he's taking care of himself much better. He's going to class, doing the right things, eating the right things. He's in great shape. He's in a great mental space. Now the physicality and the athleticism is showing up, and he's just growing every day. He's like a sponge. If I had to grade it, for today, he's having the best camp in my room.
Best attribute you guys have right now?
We're physical.
Okay.
I've had very talented groups here. This is the most physical group I have.
How does that manifest itself? Obviously, sometimes you can see it, but sometimes you can't. How's it show up?
Well, I think, going against Zach Frazier all those years for some of the guys that have been in the room, Doug Nestor, Wyatt Milam, and just those guys spurring competition, and then just pointing out good examples of defensive line play and how physicality can overcome a lot of things on tape. I think those guys have really, truly embraced it, and we've done a great job just building that, as an example on defense in general, just not appearing to be soft and being able to put your hands on people and your shoulder pads on folks too.
I think Neil said last week was the first time that the D-line has really kind of taken it to the offensive line in a couple of years. Did you see that? And how do the guys?
Hold on, I don't know about a couple of years. But,
well,
it's been back and forth. Don't get me wrong. Coach Moore and myself we've put a lot of competition and instilled that in our guys. But to say it's been the first time, I just think it was the first time we got them first in camp when it mattered. That's all. I wouldn't say we did anything out of the ordinary there. It's coming back around this next scrimmage. You bet you.
But going up against Frazier last year and those guys, that helped you, had to help you.
Oh, yeah. Number one, Zach's a technician. Start off the field. He does everything the right way. So example-wise, it's there. And then you take it all the way through to how he got off the field that last play when he hurt himself. Like that passion, all that stuff's there. So you don't have to talk about it. You just put it on the laser in practice. Like, you better have your stuff ready. That guy's going to put you in the dirt.
I've heard a lot about Corey last year when he was redshirting. He played a couple of plays, but what do you see at him? Where's his growth?
So he's athletically, he's got the best feet in my room. It's just catching up. So he wasn't able to early enroll. He came in summer. So strength and conditioning has been the biggest piece. He's cardiovascular wise, he's gotten in shape. You can't not get stronger in our program in the weight room. We do a phenomenal job down there. And now he's growing mentally and the game's able to slow down for him, so he's able to play fast. So everything's clicking for him right now.
Only a nose. Can he play D tackle? Will he play more D tackle than nose? Where's he going to play?
Corey can play all three spots. I haven't decided yet where I'm going to officially put him. We have a couple guys Sonny Red was not practicing right now, so we're going to determine where he plays. But Corey's able to play them all. I think we're probably playing more behind Eddie right now, but he's got some versatility as well.
Jackson's not the biggest guy, but motor, right? That's what you see in him. It's what he gives.
Absolutely, and he's got tremendous athleticism. He's an older guy too, so he's crafty. He knows the game. So, some of the movement stuff we've done in the past, we could do stuff like that with him, and he's going to be a terror for us.
The guy that's multiple positions, maybe.
Absolutely, just like he was at Troy. We're going to use him the same ways.
How much does it hurt Asani not to be able to go through spring?
Well, judging by the way he played in the bowl game in a reserve role and the plays he made towards the end of the season, clicking, You'd like to keep fanning that fire with the technique piece you're missing. He's a very smart kid, so he's excellent in the meeting room. You just like to have that individual development in practice where he's going to miss. But I fully expect for him to bounce back and be able to catch up in the summer. The way the rules are now, we can get him going in the summer again.
Elijah and Nate, is it moving fast for them right now?
I did early on, but they actually just had their best practice, so I'm really pleased with both of those guys. Kinsler came from a high-level high school program where he was battle tested every week, and Big Nate, he was a national and high state level wrestler, so he was physically able, but the game is fast for those young guys.
You talk a little bit about the way Eddie V has progressed from the time he got here pretty raw to now.
I mean, he came in, not even really speaking English and not even, able to speak football jargon. Now he's a class clown. He's hip on all the American stuff. He's eating fast food and getting fat like the rest of us. But as a technician, he's grown so much. It looks like he's been playing football for about 10 to 12 years now, and he's actually teaching the young guys now. So he's come full circle. He's comfortable in his own skin now. So it's great to see what he can do.
Where is Sean in his development? I mean, he's certainly developed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Where is he now? What do you ask him to do this spring?
Just be a pro, be consistent. It's great to watch like him and Wyatt battle every day, and to see that chess match and those guys. And then it's been a blessing for Coach Moore and myself to walk down the hallways and see Wyatt and Sean watching tape together, discussing football. So, I think if I passed out right now, Sean would be able to take over the coaching side of the room as well. But I think the consistency piece has showed up since January, and I think he's in the best mental space I've seen him since I've been here.
Talking more too.
Yeah, he's talking more. I got to tell him to shut up. That's all right.
If I remember your bio correctly, do you have 3 master's degrees?
I do.
Just couldn't get enough? Or?
Well, so now with these new rules, I guess you don't really need the GA. But it took me a little bit to break into football, and I was able to take advantage of my scholarship when I was a player too, and get a master's degree before I left college. So that's kind of how that happened. But yeah, I'm probably overqualified degree-wise to coach football. But if I somehow end up on the wrong side of this deal, I'll be able to do something, I think.
On the personal side, I think I have this right. New baby.
New
now?
baby, yep.
Any sleep at night? What's it like coaching in spring practice when you're here a lot, and also with a new baby at home?
Well, I have an excellent wife. First off, she does 90% of everything. But no, it's great coming out and coaching. I mean, I got a new energy, a new sense of responsibility. I feel like a completely new person. The greatest blessing I ever had is to have a baby girl, and it's been great. And honestly, seeing where women's sports is right now, and my daughter's not really watching, but having her in front of the TV, watching what's going on in women's basketball has been great. Just imagining that being my daughter one day and me being that dad from the sidelines. It's been a great new refreshing energy for me and a source of inspiration.
Let's talk about beating one-on-one blocks. I guess that applies to your guys too. What are you doing with them? How are you working on that part of the?
Obviously, hand leverage and pad level and all that good stuff with technique. But that's where the physicality comes into play. It's you versus another person. They might have just as good technique, might be just as athletic, just as strong, but the physicality and then the mindset piece comes into getting off the block, like having to want it more than the other person. And that's, going back to going against Zach Frazier every day. He wanted it more than everybody all the time. So it was hard to make plays versus him, right? So you try to match that every day.
You seeing development there?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I think we hit a lot of individuals. Any others that we didn't ask you about you'd like to mention?
Young guy that had an injury last year, Zach Keats, coming along. Derek Burlitz is a walk-on kid coming along, doing a great job. We've been steady across the board. For Tomer Mobile's been steady, Hammond Russell. And then again, we missed Asani, but we've had, some guys flash through this camp. It's been good.
You've been here for a few years now. I mean, do you feel like you're starting to get this room where you want it from a developmental standpoint? You got guys that are coming up and playing their role after a few years of the program?
Absolutely. It's good to have young freshmen you feel good about and guys in every class. Having been able to recruit these guys, I feel like nothing wrong with the guys that I inherited. I've had some great players, but I feel like going through the recruiting process with most of these guys, they know me for a number of years. It's easier for those guys to take coaching. There's a relationship there. And, there's the more conversation on the front end before things go wrong, whether I'm losing my mind or they're having a bad day. We kind of communicate better, so was more understanding for sure.
You're recruiting. What is it that you look for? Is there? I mean, start with body style. I mean, do you like length, or what do you like?
The first thing I usually do is I like guys to be bigger than me. I like guys to look down at me and are just at least just as wide-shouldered as I am. I think that's my only good attribute I have left. But no, I like them to be bigger and longer, and I like them to have a mindset, toughness, whether it's on the field or off the field. I like guys that have jobs, that wake up early, play multiple sports, have a good relationship with their parents, whether they're not a pain in the rear. When I walk into school and people are saying good things about them, I like all those type of things. On top of obviously being a good football player.
Yeah.
The two true freshmen, correct me if I'm wrong, they just seem bigger than recent vintage true freshmen that run through. I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's a coincidence, but
It's on purpose. I'm looking for a bigger profile player as we move forward. Part of that's style, part of that's a little bit the defensive change. Learning and growth with Drew Fabianich, talking just personnel and body types and scouting and stuff like that. But I do err on the side of a bigger player.
I don't know if it seems like college football now just makes sense to play true freshman more because of the portal. That's always a bit risky on the defensive line, but what type of advantages, not those two, but someone who's bigger and more physically prepared this day and age to get on the field and actually contribute earlier?
Yeah, it gets physical, especially in between the tackles. So you don't want to get anybody hurt. But guys that are more weight lifted out of high school, it's easier for them to catch up. And then obviously, with them being able to early enroll and the amount of time we're able to spend in the summer, it's not necessarily a problem like it was when I was coming up through college football. And then, I think the best thing we do here on defense is when we do play guys early, it's in a situation where they can be successful. So if the ball's on the minus side of the field where you might give up a first down, not a touchdown, a good time to get some guys some touches.